Hey, this is Gareth and Bruce. This is our first attempt at a podcast.
We just don't know where it's gonna go.
You got more of the gruff voice. I got more of the
Softer feminine voice.
screw you.
Hey.
I don't know. I felt a little snobby when we hit 10 episodes.
Okay, that's an interesting question.
The two of us can be Vin Diesel. Gareth can drive like him. And I can
You
look
can
like
look
him.
Welcome to Spaghetti Junction. My name is Gareth,
My name is Bruce.
and we talk about things. We just don't know
know
where
where
they're
they're
gonna
gonna
go.
Hello. Welcome to episode number 80 of Spaghetti Junction podcast. My name is Karen.
My name is Bruce.
We talk about a lot of things.
Just don't
Don't
know
know
where
where
they're
they're
gonna
gonna
go.
Episode 80.
Jeez, like, it's quite a milestone, eh?
Sounds like I'm exhausted from it. I'm not. But yeah, 80 episodes in of this glorious friendship of a podcast,
That's
or
it.
podcast of a friendship, or something.
We've had some like 80 different discussions on
Yeah,
different
I don't.
topics.
I think there were a few, where there was like, part one and part two, whatever.
That's
kind of
also
thing.
true, yeah.
But the majority of the
Majority,
80,
yeah.
we've managed to find different things to say for
Oh.
over 80 times, which is actually pretty good for somebody. I'll be honest. That's pretty good. Yeah. So, well done for lasting this long. We, our friendship has it's actually survived.
Yeah, it is.
It's actually been good.
And we've consistently proved that we're allowed we can actually disagree and still be
And
friends,
still maintain a friendship, exactly.
which is
Which,
in this day and age.
congratulations, yeah. Because you gave us a handshake. So yeah, episode 80. I was going to bring up last time, but there were other things going on in the beginning.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of animal. There's gazillion animal facts everywhere.
Yes.
I just have a handful
Okay.
that are interesting, but I also want to get into it. Because you know me when I'm watching. I think we have conversations, and like I'll get into the depth as to like I can't remember, but in the movie I'll be like interested, but like if the moon was this and blah 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 blah, and like that's just like way too much overthinking. Like so with this thing, it's animal facts to most people.
Okay.
To me, I won't get through them all, but to me, I just want to have like a bit of like why, or how. Okay, so here's a few.
I have
Okay,
no idea where this is going.
the one is interesting. Okay, I didn't know this, so this isn't going to be my how question or why.
Okay.
A flamingo's head has to be upside down when it eats.
Okay, because
Because you see when they
they use the way they angle, the way their beak has to angle into the water.
their spoon, yeah, I don't know, but yeah, they have to. Oh, before I even do this, I had a thought in my brain: do fish ever get thirsty? Question. It's not animal facts, just a question. Okay, so while you're thinking about that, okay, here's a very interesting one. Female ferrets. Okay, so you don't know what a ferret is, like a weasel, basically.
Ferrets
So
are cool.
female ferrets die if they do not mate once they go into heat.
Damn.
That's a lot of freaking
like the-
firepower.
It's like the female version of blue balls. It's like, damn it, somebody give it to me now.
And then,
Yeah, did they just like explode?
yeah, exactly. All the fur everywhere.
Yeah.
And they're like gone.
Splat. Okay then.
So, one of my questions is, how did I guessing it's like a scientist did this, or I don't really know who actually sits down and works through this kind of stuff with the animal kingdom. But I mean, who could actually? I mean, so does that mean that somebody would have to sit? Like, how do they find it out for the first time?
Someone was watching.
That you
ferrets
just sit and watch ferrets
and
and say, okay, this is a female, and
she's in heat now.
why did like 24 die last night? And then they had to now go backtrack. Oh, they were all on heat and they all. But also, that's a random thing for an animal's gifting to the world. You will die if you don't have sex. And the problem is that they don't even have it choice about this.
I personally know how she feels. I mean,
What, you'll die?
human beings are like that. I'll die. I don't know. So.
No, this is literally they will die.
They will die. Yes.
It's not
Yeah,
just,
humans just cry about it.
Exactly. And Weasley. That's about it. A snail can sleep for 3 years. Again, what person sat with a snail? How do you even know if it's sleeping? Sure, it's inside its house, but it might be playing cards inside the house. Uno, or solitaire, or tic-tac-toe underneath in his house.
Maybe they're attached sort of.
How do they sit with a snail for up to 3 years?
Maybe they attached sort of brain sensors and heart rate sensors to the outer shell, and then measured the ups and downs.
Wow.
I don't know.
Imagine that's your job. So you have your degree, you're covered. So your first job, yes, you need to work out how long a snail can sleep in one sitting.
Just for advice out there, don't put that on your Tinder profile. Okay,
What?
it's not going to work.
Snails.
Snail research.
Snail researcher.
Snail sleep research. I don't think you're going to get many swipes, but anyway.
No.
You better be a really good-looking snail researcher.
Oh, yeah. Definitely got to know what you're up to, pal. And because, like, literally, so maybe the wiring thing works, but I just like, who the hell? And I mean, who even sits and thinks about it?
Yeah.
It's not going to change the world
No.
because the snail slept for 3 years. And watch this, okay? He sleeps for 3 years. He wakes up. As he wakes up, somebody steps on the shell and dies. How would that suck?
Yeah, that would.
You lost it for 3 years. You're rested. You're already.
Although I don't think if a snail's going to go to sleep for 3 years, I don't think he's going to hang out in the middle of a pathway somewhere. I think he's probably going to be like,
You would actually hope so. You're right.
like on a, somewhere up in a tree or
A tree.
or I don't know,
And the bushes.
in the bushes.
Underneath a pile of rocks.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. That's about it. Okay, let me just give you one last one. There's so many. Okay, fine. Now you see, now you're helping my thought process here.
You're welcome.
Kangaroos cannot fart. Again, what does a researcher do? So they find a family of kangaroos. They invest into a ton's worth of baked beans. So they funnel it into the kangaroo's food system without the kangaroos knowing, obviously, because otherwise they would kick them to death.
Yes.
And then he hangs out there for a week, a month, monitoring any form of flatulence going around these kangaroos. And then goes and does his paper on kangaroos.
Kangaroo.
Don't fart.
The lack of
The
flatulence. in
lack of
kangaroo.
flatulence and why it's affecting the rest of the animal kingdom.
I don't know.
I'm just saying, this is I want to know. He just sits there and hopes.
Well,
And
now-
pumps them full of baked beans continuously until they explode from baked beans.
Well, at least we know that kangaroos are not adding to the methane output of
You
New
are
Zealand.
very correct, Bruce.
That
So actually, it's a good pet to have, actually.
it's good. Yeah.
Not that it wants to be a pet.
Yeah.
He'll kick you in the balls.
Yeah, because of New Zealand and the flatulence tax that they're going to be putting on farmers.
Are you trying to say that kangaroos come from New Zealand?
Oh yeah, they don't. Shoot, that was my bad. Sorry about that. But anyway,
It's not anyways. That's ridiculous. Kangaroos come... Next you're going to say that kiwis come from Australia. Kangaroos are so Australian, it's unbelievable.
I know. I forgot.
No, you don't
I
know.
forgot.
You can't forget that.
I forgot.
That's
I'm
a basic
sorry.
in the
I made a
friendship.
mistake.
So when I moved to New Zealand... Wow. Kangaroos from New Zealand.
Maybe Australia will get on the flatulence tax thing as well.
Save yourself, Bruce. Save yourself. Oh, and by the way, elephants are the only animal that cannot jump. Every other animal can jump.
I would. Well, every other animal with legs.
Hey, Dad. You could have a fish that jumps in the water.
That's also true.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, shame. Elephants will hurt themselves.
So that's they would, yes. But anyways, that's a few of my questions that's from some information. Actually, you need to go into it. And for example, crocodiles cannot stick out their tongues. Again, who sits next to a crocodile's mouth and checks if they can move up their tongue?
Why would a crocodile want to stick out their tongue anyway?
Well, maybe it was being childish.
Maybe.
Yeah. I wanted to, but I can't. Thank you. I am complete now that I have a few answers to my questions. I'm done.
I'm glad you have answers. I didn't hear any answers.
You gave me a few that helped me slightly.
Slightly.
Just slightly. Yes.
Okay.
So, yes. Conspire against us, Brett.
Oh dear.
We are here
Conspire.
for some conspiracy theories that...
Conspire theoretically.
Yes. Oh, by the way, these are my go-to sweets now. My mum was away with my aunt in Australia, and she brought back... Only if you really know Australia or New Zealand, these are called pineapple lumps by Pascal, and they are... It's basically pineapple that's not real pineapple, but it's pineapple flavored stuff.
Covered in chocolate.
Surrounded by chocolate. I mean, what more can you say? They are not a sponsor, but I really wish they were.
Okay, conspiracy theories. There's so many. Which one should we start with? Ooh,
The moon
moon
landing.
the moon landing, or moon landings.
Or did it
should we
actually
say.
happen?
Yeah,
Did
yeah.
it?
So
Did
for
it, Bruce?
yes, I believe they did.
That there was moon landing.
I do believe that. I do believe now. It's like there's so much information going. Yeah, they didn't happen, and you can sort of. Some people are quite sort of. You can. Sometimes I was easily swayed. I'm like, when you think about, did it happen? Could have been. What about this? Whatever. But considering there have been 6 moon missions. You know, I don't think they could have made 6 hoaxes to the size of what it could be. I mean,
Well, I think the idea was that the original, the
One
first
was
moon
a-
landing,
yeah.
that was the
was the hoax.
idea that actually wasn't true. It was all done in a soundstage.
Yeah, or in the near Area 51 in the Nevada desert, or whatever. But
So what was the whole conspiracy theory? Let's just rather go there first.
it was basically that it was faked in order to sort of push the Russians out of the space race. It's like they say, well, let's fake the moon landing so we get to the moon before the Russians do, kind of thing, and that kind of thing just didn't fly, because we did go, and there was all manner of evidence, of video evidence of and rock samples that were brought back, and then also another 5 missions after that, which evidence can be seen by a high-powered telescope, and also by photos verified by other countries that have sent
Yes, the rocks.
sent probes into space and have photographed the moon. So independent sources, all of that kind of thing. See, moon rovers and the landers that they left there are all there. And so yeah.
Did you know that so one of the conspiracies is that the flag, that there was no chance that the flag could have been moving
Yes.
because there's no
I
atmosphere.
didn't know about that. There's no air. There's no wind. Yeah.
But from research which I went to, which actually, and again, it was so easy to find out. It wasn't like,
Yeah.
well, what they did is that there was a wiring system on the flag. So the flag was there, flappy, 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 and they had put a wire insert on the top of it.
Yes. So it holds it up.
It holds it up, and it looked like
just
it
hang.
was moving. And the conspiracy theories, well, it's not possible because there was no blah, blah, blah. And actually, it's a simplistic thing, guys. If you actually look a little bit further. But I mean, anyways, but I mean, I don't even understand why there's even that conspiracy anyways, because I don't get that one.
I don't know, and the fact that the fact that throughout the entire Apollo sort of era, there were about 400,000 people involved over the period of time that these moon landings took place. Employed by NASA, all these kind of things. How do you get 400,000 people to keep a secret? You know, how do you, you know, you tell 400,000 people like, you're gonna take this to the grave, otherwise we'll find you and kill you, kind of thing. No, I'm sorry, someone's gonna talk. So yeah, and so the flag, coming back to that, it is fabric, but
Yeah, it is.
it's as they're sort of attaching it, you know, putting it into the ground and stuff like that. Obviously, it's fabric, so it's going to move. Just because there's no wind, doesn't, just because of the movement of what they're doing, it's going to cause it to move. But it's not going to sit there and flap like it would in the wind.
No.
And that kind of thing. So, yeah, just...
Okay.
9/11.
Yep. Sorry, I'm rolling my eyes because I know what this stuff is. It's such stupid. I think it's a really bad theory. But anyways,
Yeah. So the theories surrounding 9/11 was it an inside job? Was it done by the American government, or at least did the American government have sort of previous knowledge of what was going to happen and didn't do anything about it? And you know, believe in the conspiracy theories or not, it was a terrible day in world history. I think we all
well,
remember.
wasn't the no, okay? But the conspiracy theory itself was that it was actually known by the government. It was actually the conspiracy theory is that more were actually aware of it, and it was linked with in the government. Is
Yes.
that not correct?
Yeah, and it was a way to sort of look at going back into
Wanna bring it
war
up?
with.
Bring it up high because you're not very loud right now. It's weird when you don't speak into the mic.
I am speaking in the mic.
Okay, you don't know. That's better. Carry on.
It was, you know, to sort of as a bit of a catalyst to go back into Afghanistan and that kind of thing and all that. And so
Sorry, you need to explain that more. It doesn't.
Sorry, I can't too much.
You can't. Okay.
Um,
Okay. Yeah, because we want to try and understand these conspiracy theories.
yeah.
Okay.
I kind of take a look at like some of the footage, especially of the two buildings coming down, and of how how controlled those collapses actually were. So that to me sort of, and I'm not a structural engineer by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't understand how when two planes hit them, how they could then collapse with that amount of control after a given amount of time. So that sort of makes me
What?
think that there might have been something there that they actually collapsed the buildings on purpose.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know. It just makes,
So you honestly think? Okay.
there might be
It's
some, there
each
might
to their
have
own
been
thought
something
process.
there. Yeah.
But why would they do that? It's an interesting thought,
That
but why?
I just don't know. There's so many questions surrounding 9/11. The other thing was the whole question about was a plane actually flown into the Pentagon or not, or was it a missile instead? You know, because apparently there was no real evidence of plane wreckage at the Pentagon from the supposed plane that flew into the Pentagon, which is also a bit strange. So that's why it's just
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
It was listen. It was a dark day, no matter what. I think we all remember where we were when that all happened.
Yep.
So,
Have been.
It wasn't.
Okay.
Yeah. What are your thoughts about it?
No. I believe it happened. Full stop.
Okay.
What I saw, what I read,
Okay.
what happened, that's pretty clear. To me, it happened.
Okay.
There's no reason for me not to believe that.
Cool.
So there's a theory around when Princess Diana died. That was in 1997. I remember when it happened
So do I.
very, very clearly. She died on August the 31st inside a Paris highway tunnel.
Yes.
And it was a big shock, obviously. So one of these theories is that Muhammad al-Fayed, who was the father of Dodi al-Fayed, who was in a relationship with Princess Diana. One of the theories is that the father, Muhammad al-Fayed, he claims that the accident was in fact an assassination by the British intelligence agencies at the request of the royal family.
Whoa.
And and obviously they were, examined and they were dismissed as baseless in a inquiry that was in 2006. And the coroner said, the coroner.
Coroner.
As I was saying, it's
Corona.
like, it's definitely not corona. Coroner. The corona. It was around in 2006, people. The coroner stated that the conspiracy theory advanced by Muhammad al-Fayed has been minutely examined and shown to be without any substance. And then in 2008, the jury concluded that Diana and al-Fayed were unlawfully killed due to negligence by their drunken chauffeur and pursuing paparazzi. I didn't know that the chauffeur was drunk. That's a whole nother one to me.
Me too.
But from what they're saying is nope, nothing untoward happened. It was just, the bad paparazzi and
Yeah.
their chauffeur was drunk. Okay, that's what came out of it. Now I'm going to have to go into it.
Yeah. You're gonna have to- yeah, I think wasn't it just that they brought it down to basically they were maybe just speeding to get away from all the paparazzi and lost control, and it was just a tragic.
Yeah, and to me that makes sense. I don't know why people take something that's pretty easy to understand and see and pull it apart into these most elaborate.
I know.
Like, who is the first person who just sat down with that kind of thing and just had so much time on their hands? I reckon the people who get these, there has to be one person,
Yeah.
or maybe a group of people who came up with it, because it's not out there by itself. But you obviously weren't busy on that day.
I think what happens with a lot of maybe it's just I'm just spitballing here, but I think maybe sometimes people don't want to accept a simple answer. When an answer is so straightforward and so, in front of them, in their faces, and they just know there must be something more. And then they go off on that tangent, and then they find other people who rally to their
Follow
cause.
conspiracists.
Yes, and then it just gets out of hand. So there we go.
People have got way too much time on their hands.
Human beings, oh my word. So the assassination of JFK, John F. Kennedy. Yeah.
Yep.
So in 2003, a poll revealed that 70% of Americans still believed that it was part of a larger or broader plot, if you like.
For what?
It was just it wasn't just some lone gunman who had a beef and decided he was going to off the president. Because that was Lee Harvey Oswald, who was the suspected, who was subsequently assassinated himself, which is also that's also interesting. Maybe he was involved in a broader plot and he was assassinated before he could, squeal, if you like, or maybe the person who killed him was so, distraught that they had killed a very popular president that they decided to take it on themselves to take him out.
One of the conspiracy theories is that there was more than one involved.
Yes, more than one shooter. Yeah, because that brings up the whole question of the grassy knoll.
Grassy knoll, explain.
Which is it's a hill overlooking the area that the cavalcade drove through.
Yeah.
And there was a sort of a wooden fence there that could have hidden someone very easily. And so that because the when they studied the trajectory of the bullets,
Yeah.
that and the directions and everything, they didn't quite line up with where they thought the bullets would have come from, which is the school book, the Texas school book depository, where Lee Harvey Oswald supposedly fired his shots from,
Okay.
because they discovered that the trajectory of other bullets had come possibly from this grassy knoll, this little hill, where someone else could have possibly been hiding in it. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
very
Okay.
interesting. Yeah. So the different reasons that people have sort of come up with was possibly taken out by CIA agents who were very upset with the whole Bay of Pigs debacle, the Cuban invasion that John F. Kennedy was involved with, possibly the KGB.
KDB.
KGB.
KGB.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically the Russians.
Blame it on the Russians.
Yeah.
That's all we do.
Or another one, which I'm not too sure about this one, but I don't know if we'll ever know. But Robert Kennedy, JFK's brother, had been involved in conviction of a lot of the criminals involved in organized crime.
Okay.
So mobsters and that could have been a reason as well.
Or like a hit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although why they wouldn't have gone after Robert Kennedy, I don't know, because Robert Kennedy was the
Yeah.
the instigator. So yeah, but anyway, that was a big one. He was one of the most. He's a rock star president. He really was. He was good looking. He was enigmatic.
Yours.
Is that right? Did I pronounce that word right?
Enigmatic.
Okay, I did.
And I'm normally the one who gets them wrong. So if I
sounded-
got it right, then it's right.
It sounded weird coming out of my mouth, but then
Enigmatic.
you said it, and it
Enigmatic.
sounds right.
That's right.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
Enigmatic. Enigmatic. There's this conspiracy theory has gone on for worlds till it ends, and it's a conversation that I don't even start with people. It's that the Earth is flat. There is a conspiracy theory by random people who just honestly have no more time, have so much time in the day that they're going to sit down and fight with you if the Earth is flat.
No.
Now, this is what they believe. Flat Earthers have a range of theories about how they think the world was actually laid out. But the majority seem to believe that the planet is a flat disk with an ice wall all around it. It's just flat with ice wall all around it. Just this kind of belief can be, as I get an advertisement in the middle of my thing, this kind of belief can be a harbinger of extreme science skepticism with issues with real world implications, and they're bringing things like the vaccine. Again, that's a whole another. Okay, you can't really call the vaccine thing or anti-vaxxers conspiracy. It's just a different thing. But the fact that there was a Logan Paul went to a flat Earth convention.
Oh yeah.
Pretending that he actually believed in it. Look, it was a bit horrible for the other people involved, but it was funny, and he went in there more to, for entertainment, obviously.
Yeah.
But when you actually hear the views and the explanations of, trying to explain why, it's the same thing as when you get a knock on the door from a Jehovah's Witness.
Yes.
You're going to be on two different sides of the fence, and you're never going to meet up.
No.
And rather just don't carry on a conversation.
Yeah. It's
just. And speaking of Logan Paul, sorry, this is a random thing. He actually signed a contract with the WWE on the weekend.
what?
Yeah, he signed a contract with them.
He's gonna be a wrestler.
He's going to be used, throughout the next year. So he's basically signed, from what I understand, he's been signed up to carry on a storyline, which is basically it's a storyline that if you like wrestling, you'll like it. If you don't, you don't. It's a storyline that basically goes from when he had his first fight and his tag team partner when they won. And I know all about this. Basically, he's now trying to get back at his tag team partner because his tag team partner after they won gave him a whatever the hell, he knocked him out on the canvas. So now Logan Paul's out. I'm coming for you, pretty. So yeah, he got signed with WWE, which is it's not a small feat. I mean,
So he's gone from being because he did boxing.
He is doing boxing again.
So he's gone from being a semi-real fighter to fake fighting. To smoke and mirrors.
And he does it well. and he gets paid. Look, I mean, this is WWE, dude.
Oh, my soul. Oh,
it's entertainment, exactly. I'll be watching and you won't be.
You can watch.
I'm
for
definitely
the,
watching
you
for the
can,
both of us.
You can watch for the both of us. You are welcome.
And that's
to
not a
it.
conspiracy theory. Yeah. Anyways, that was just interesting. No, but I mean, for me though, too, you actually see where what he did, where he, and to where he is now.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's been anybody from social media, like him who's. I mean, like it or don't, WWE is it's a big organization.
Yeah. He's both the Paul brothers. They play the social media game very, very well.
Exactly, and that's why they get signed up.
Respect to them. I mean, they understand. They understand it. Yeah, they understand the game.
Yeah,
and they just.
Yeah.
They've played it very,
it's
very
all
well.
it is, dude.
Yeah, it's all a game.
And speaking of the other Paul, I know this is not even linked with a conspiracy, whatever, is
it
now...
could be, though.
Actually, it could be, yes. Actually, this one actually could be one because... Jake Paul and Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury is the half-brother of Tyson Fury.
Oh, okay.
The big boy, the heavyweight champion. He's incredible. And they basically been trying to get a fight going, and it was going to happen last year, the first one, and like a week or two before, maybe like a few weeks before the fight was going to happen, Tommy Fury's like, no, he broke his rib or something in training, and he can't make the fight. So that was really like weird. Now they're up to fight on August the 6th. About 5 days ago, okay, because August the 6th is like around the corner. 5 days ago, now all of a sudden Tommy Fury cannot do the fight because he's not allowed into America. And there's a whole story behind that if you want to go behind this. This is actually another conspiracy, probably. Okay. The story is that the media house, whatever, the agency that was involved in Tyson Fury's fights, like back in the day, though, there was a conversation that the people who were running that were linked with the mafia.
Ooh.
And with a big mafia family that had issues and repercussions going throughout America.
Yeah.
So the thought is that, or this is what has been told, but I don't know, is that the government then placed anybody with links to this organization are barred from coming to America.
Okay.
So because Tyson Fury was involved there, without them even knowing about this, this agency. So because that was linked with Tyson Fury, anybody linked with Tyson Fury, even like his half brother, are now banned from the country.
Wow.
But how did he then? This is the fun part. How did he end up fighting on the undercard of Jake Paul's fight, which was where? In America. And then the follow-up from that, he says, actually, no, he can't come because, he's found out that his dad can't come. well, they've known about this for. I could get into it, but the point is, it's like the more that it happens, the more you wonder: do you actually want to fight, or are you just like tiptoeing around? Because this was going to be the first fight that Jake Paul would actually fight against a real boxer, against like a legit boxer. Up till now, it's been UFC stars and whatever.
Yeah.
So this was going to be the like big, the real deal, and now all of a sudden. He's had a chance a second time, and he's,
Okay.
Don't know if there's a conspiracy in there, but I probably could find one. I probably could easily find a conspiracy with them.
And then rally others to your cause.
Oh, I would, yes. Just not on Facebook, seeing as what happened to you. Yeah.
I don't know. You know why I'm still on Facebook. It's old people social media. It really is.
Old people social media.
It is. It's like no one like under 30, or like under 25 is on Facebook.
I think so.
I doubt it. Or if they are, it's just
Okay, fair enough.
it's like it's Instagram and TikTok, basically.
Yeah. TikTok.
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 That thing. Oi.
Did you know that there was a conspiracy theory? I didn't know this until I read this. But there was a conspiracy theory that Paul McCartney died.
I saw that come up.
I can't remember the exact date it was, but he basically died in some form. But I don't remember how he even died. And then the Beatles went to a point where they actually got to a point where they actually made up a person, and they passed them off as Paul McCartney the whole way through their career.
And still, the supposed Paul McCartney is still making music, collaborating with other artists. Jeez, like almost knocked that over. Me and my freaking glasses, I tell you. I didn't hit this one on the mic though, so that was
that's a positive.
That's a plus. Yeah. So
I'm actually trying to find it.
So someone other than Paul McCartney has collaborated with Dave Grohl and the Foo Fighters, collaborated with Kanye West. We won't talk about that one. Supposedly Kanye West, really gave a lot of exposure to this new guy, Paul McCartney, who no one had heard of. It was really funny.
What?
Like, the people are like, I can't believe that Kanye has gotten this great guy, Paul McCartney. We've never heard of him before.
Who said that?
The people, fans of Kanye West who have never heard of Paul McCartney.
They said that he found
Paul McCartney.
He found him and made him into who he is.
Or just got Paul McCartney to play on that one track with him and Rihanna, which is a dumb song anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, my soul. Oh. No. Paul McCartney's still alive. Thank you very much. And he's still a legend.
It just shows how little music knowledge our youngsters have of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, when you actually... but it was like when your one student, he heard that Juice WRLD mix of the song by Sting. With the Sting's, what was it?
Shape of My Heart.
Shape of My Heart.
Which is such a it's such a widely sampled guitar line anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, who was it? Yeah, it was Juice WRLD. Juice WRLD is probably the most recent.
Yeah, that was the big one.
But
and then people were like, that's an amazing riff. Like, where did it come from? Or like, no, I think they actually believed that he came up with that riff. And then they found out who it was, like, who's Sting? But then again, who calls himself Sting? Where did that come from?
The reason that
tell me about Sting.
I'm trying to. If you could just like
tell me about Sting.
Stop
please.
Freaking chatting in the last 2 minutes of our podcast.
Wow.
2 minutes to go.
I have a conspiracy that you've got issues. Carry on, Bruce.
Wow.
Please, we've got to have a minute and a half now.
So the reason that Gordon Sumner is named Sting.
Is that full name? Okay.
That's his full name. He would often wear a yellow and brown striped jersey that made him look like a bumblebee. And people started calling him Sting. And the name
stuck. Sting stuck.
Yeah.
Huh.
I
don't even think I knew that.
I've seen him twice live.
Really?
Epic, both times.
That's pretty cool.
Once at Ellis Park and once at Sun City.
Okay, that must have been good.
Serious privilege, yeah. It was fantastic. I think he's been to South Africa 3 times. I've seen him twice. Out of the
I
3.
haven't seen once at all.
Yes. Oh, just the presence.
Must be quite amazing.
Standing on
actually.
stage. Just wow. Anyway.
Very cool. Very cool. So this thing on the Paul McCartney thing was just done. I know we've run out of time. But this conspiracy, 1966 he died, supposedly.
Supposedly. Maybe we can blame Yoko Ono.
No,
We blame Yoko Ono for a lot to do with the Beatles, so we might as well just blame her for this one.
just
as
throw
well.
it in there, yeah.
It's like, damn it, Yoko.
So this was that the conspiracy was that Paul McCartney got into an argument with the other Beatles, stormed out of the studio and was promptly decapitated in a car accident. So this is quite a theory. They didn't just have him killed. They had him whacked by his head being chopped off.
Jeepers.
Now, when do you think that would make some kind of news?
Yeah, it would.
I mean,
yeah.
I'm thinking here.
No, it would have.
If their conspiracy was true,
Yeah, it would have.
but their conspiracy is that it happened and no one saw it. Somehow, the car that chopped his head off just went, oh, that must have been.
Then why didn't they think of doing that with when the dude shot John Lennon?
Well, maybe they didn't like Paul McCartney. So basically, the band covered it up because they didn't want anybody to know that
As you do.
he lost his head. And the band hired a lookalike and a sound-alike. Then after going,
who's just as talented a songwriter.
well, you wouldn't know though. You wouldn't know.
That's true.
That
Maybe
holds no ground.
They were writing all of Paul McCartney stuff for him.
And then after going through all of this trouble, the band then took great pains to drop clues in their album covers and lyrics to hint to the public that something was amiss. Now here's an example. This is what they say. On the cover of the Abbey Road album, okay, all 4 Beatles are photographs striding across a zebra crossing, correct?
Classic.
But only McCartney is barefoot and out of step with the other 3.
How the hell does that prove that it's not him?
It's a message in there saying that Paul McCartney is not really Paul McCartney.
Oh, so.
And how's that though? Why is he the only one? And why is he barefoot and out of step?
It's like people.
But why?
It's like people looking at the album cover of Hotel California by the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing, and they're looking for all the symbolism. Like there's some dude up in some window,
Yeah.
all this kind of thing. And it's like, no,
You can always find something, I would imagine.
these are all the stories about what Hotel California is actually about and everything. And it's like, oh God, please just enjoy the damn song. It's a great song. Just enjoy the song. So yeah, I'm like,
Enough said.
Enough said. Yes.
Enough said. Too many people with too much time on their hands.
Exactly.
That's really all these theories are about to me.
Exactly. Yeah. So.
Too many people with too much time.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
And we're out of time.
We are out of time.
So we don't have too much time.
We didn't have any time. Only time we have is to say is goodbye time.
Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for checking us out.
Thanks for joining us at this little second episode at the table.
Yes.
Hopefully our power's going to be, well, this is not pretty stupid. We might see you here again next time. Or at a completely different landscape that has freaking solar power somewhere.
Yes. Spaghetti Junction is now brought to you by the power of the sun.
Power of the sun. Exactly.
Thanks a lot, guys. We'll catch you in the next one.
Goodbye.
Bye.